Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Our next guest is an East Harlem native and a seasoned fitness instructor and wellness advocate. She joins us to share her passion for yoga and speak about its transformative impact on her community. Please welcome to the show the founder of Ofrenda Yoga Studio, Miss Jazmin Tejada. Thank you.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, Jazmin, tell us a little bit about your background in fitness and how you got started with yoga. Why is this such a part of you?
So my story is a little interesting because, and this is something that comes up at least 2 or 3 times a week, where someone tells me, I don't like yoga, or I've done yoga and I didn't like it. Because when I started yoga, I didn't like it either. And here I am. So, you know, 20 years ago or so, I'm aging myself, but 20 years ago or so, the internet wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
And I was walking in the Upper East Side or something, and I saw yoga, and I was like, what's that? And of course, I tried to look it up because Google wasn't around yet. I tried to look it up and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I signed up for a class. I was like, I'm athletic. I'll take this class. And I took the class and I was like, why do people do this? This is weird. This is really boring. It's slow. But there was something about it that caught my attention. And like maybe a few months later, I signed up for another class. And I did that for a little bit where I would take a class, not take a class for 6 months, and then take a class again until I found the teacher that I liked. So I always tell people take a few classes, try a few different teachers, try different studios and see what works and what doesn't work for you, because it's not one size fits all. And 20 years later, here I am owning a studio.
And it's actually contrary to what people think. It's quite challenging.
It's extremely challenging. It's challenging because, especially in the world that we live in now, we're so connected to being on the phone and interacting with people. And now you have this 1 hour where you're not speaking to anyone, you're not answering your phone. It's just you and your thoughts and your breathing.
And your muscles.
And how do you show up for that? Yes and no, right? Because sometimes I encourage people to listen, if what you need to do right now is take a nap, take a nap. That is yoga also. You know, the idea of yoga just being these strenuous poses that we see is all marketing. It's important, there's a reason why we do it, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah. And what inspired you to open your yoga studio in Harlem?
That's also another story. But
go ahead, we got
long
time.
story short was I had been teaching for 10 years and I was on my way to teach a class, and there was something in my brain that was just like, you need to do your own thing. And I've never wanted to own my own business. That was just never my thing. And I went home and I told my partner, and I was like, I think I'm gonna open a studio. And he was like, all right, so what do we do first? And I was like, let's figure it out. And from that moment on, there was no looking back. I just figured it out step by step. And a year later, the studio's a year old now.
And where does the name Ofrenda come? I mean, I understand Ofrenda as the term in Spanish, but what is the meaning for it to be the name of your yoga studio?
So when you practice yoga, that's an offering to yourself. Right? It's an offering to yourself. It's an offering to your better life, to your future self. And when you teach yoga, it's also an offering. You're offering a safe space. You're offering a place where people can do what they need to do for themselves for an hour. So offering, ofrenda.
Ofrenda. I like that. I like that. So people know when they're coming, they're offering.
Right. They're giving themselves an offering. They're receiving an offering.
Very nice. When someone walks through the doors of your yoga studio, what can they expect? What kind of classes or services do you offer? Is there like a menu of?
So we're open 7 days a week. We have classes early morning, 7 a.m. all the way through 7:15 p.m. depending on the day. The first thing, though, when you walk into the studio, you're going to smell Palo Santo, because we are very well known for having that good scent, that energy cleansing scent in the studio. We have 2 studio rooms, so it depends on what you sign up for. It depends on what it is that you want to explore. We have an infrared heated room, which is usually heated to about 95 degrees.
That's
we don't
the
like
hot
to
yoga.
Go, yeah, that's hot yoga. We don't like to go into the hundreds because let's be real, it doesn't have to be that hot for you to sweat, right? And then we have a non-heated room for people that don't like hot yoga. So you have options. We also have self-locking lockers, so smart lockers, so you can store your stuff. You don't have to worry about your shoes leaving the studio without you. You don't have to worry about your things while you're practicing.
Very nice, very nice. And what age groups do you work with?
We teach mostly adults, but we have a lot of adults that come in with their teenage, kids. So from 12 and up, as long as they're accompanied by an adult.
12? Wow. Now, do you see a shift in recent years? Because I've read about this, that more men are now also doing yoga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's something that's happening where everyone is trying to be a little more connected to themselves, I guess because we're so connected to our phones and to, the social media stuff all the time, that we want to be a little more anchored. We want to be a little more grounded. And so we're finding that women, men, younger people, older people, like everyone are just looking for this space where they can be a little more grounded, a little more steady. Yeah.
Very nice. Amazing. And how empowering is it for you to know that you're the only Latina owner of a yoga studio in East Harlem? And maybe I have to ask, are there any lessons in Espanol?
So we used to do bilingual classes.
Oh.
And unfortunately, it didn't work out well because bilingual people or people that needed Spanish classes weren't coming to class,
Yeah.
but maybe we'll bring it back. Pero a lot of the teachers speak Spanish. So if someone shows up and, they need a bilingual class, we're happy to accommodate.
Very cool. And you also have community events that you run. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, of course. So we have community classes that we hold. We have put them on hold for the summer because summertime things get slower for studios. But it's a way for us to audition new teachers and for the community to be involved in who's going to be guiding their classes. So they give me feedback on that teacher was really good, or I'm not 100% sure if I like that. And we take that into consideration because that's who they're going to be practicing with. And these community classes are free. You sign up online.
Oh, wow.
It's free.
Yeah.
You bring your own mat. It's a free class, our class. Yeah.
Okay, so online where? We need to give our audience the address.
Our website is www.ofrendayoga.com.
Very cool. But the community events happen during the summer, you said?
They
or?
didn't happen during the summer.
Oh,
they're coming back in the fall.
coming-
They come
okay.
back in October.
And how often are those?
It depends on how many
Random?
teachers
Yeah.
are looking to audition.
Oh, wow.
But we always announce it and we post about it and we put out the link so that people know it's happening.
And your Instagram, Jazmin?
The studio's Instagram is Ofrenda Yoga Studio.
And the website, we have ofrendayogastudio.com.
Yes.
Wonderful. There you go. Now we have it in the bottom of the
Awesome.
screen, ofrendayoga.com. Wonderful. We're going to have to stop. The screen went black. Okay, now it came back. Steven, what's going on? Okay. Do you need to count or can I just? Okay. So usually when people come on, I like to ask them, what advice would you give the audience, the younger audience that is watching, that are interested in opening up their own fitness or yoga business, or maybe it's Pilates or something. What advice would you give them in terms of how they prepare, what to expect, either from a fitness perspective, like the sort of licenses and whatnot, or maybe in terms of business ownership, like what advice would you give them?
I think the most important thing is to actually be passionate about what it is that you're pursuing, whether it's in fitness or just being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is not for the weak.
No.
It is so much work. It is nonstop work. So that's something to be prepared for.
I like actually that you said that, because a lot of people talk about quitting their 9 to 5, and what they don't realize is that it becomes a 5 to 9 or a 24/7.
It's a 24/7.
Yeah.
It's nonstop.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at the beginning stages. The studio's a year old, so I'm still the marketer. I'm still the secretary. I'm still the person answering all the Instagram DMs. I'm still the person doing a lot of this stuff. And partly is because I wanted to run a certain way, so I need operations to be set first. But it's nonstop. There are no breaks. Even when you're on break, you're still kind of always on.
Okay, so that's the first reality check, we'll call it. What else? What other advice would you give them?
I think something that's really important that actually helped me was to ask for help. We can't possibly know everything all the time. And if you're very good at whatever fitness modality it is that you teach, that doesn't necessarily translate into being good at business. So the things that you're strong at, be strong at, but the things that you're unsure of, get help. Ask for help.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And what challenges did you face when you were building your business?
I knew nothing about starting a business.
Well, hopefully
because-
you reached out for help, as
I
you
surely
just
did.
suggested.
Yeah, one of my really good friends owns Harlem Kettlebell Club in East Harlem also.
Okay, yeah.
So he was a huge help. I went to him. I still go to him for everything. Every day I'm like, hey, so what do you think about this? And vice versa. Like there are some things that I help him with too. But it's really important to have a community of people that can help you and that you can help also. Especially in the fitness world, is not just fitness. We're building community. So it's important to be that hub. And to have that
I was
hub.
actually just going to ask if you would go into the community of the fitness, or is it just any community? So specifically, there's a community around fitness.
There's a fitness community for sure, especially in East Harlem, especially in Harlem, and all the entrepreneurs to these small business boutique fitness spaces, we're all friends and we all support each other. And if someone is having an event, it's like, here, raffle off, a 1 week unlimited to my studio. We all support each other in that way. And we also reach out to each other when we're unsure of stuff, or we do collaborations together because we're stronger together.
Yeah, very cool. And do you have a team to help you, or you did mention about your mentor, so
I'm the
that's
team.
You're the team.
But I do have a team of teachers, so I'm not teaching all of the classes, and that's what
Okay.
allows me to still run all of the things. Right now we have about.
I'm sure when you started, it was probably just you teaching.
I
Everything.
still had a team of teachers because
Oh,
we're
okay.
open 7 days a week. I would not be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I have about 15 teachers on staff now, so everyone teaches
wow.
their own classes. Everyone checks in their own classes. They're responsible for the studio while they're there. So that allows me and gives me space to manage the actual business side
Yeah.
of the studio.
And what are the holistic benefits of implementing yoga into your fitness routine versus traditional fitness, weights, sort of CrossFit training?
More intense stuff. So yoga is really good for lowering blood pressure, for circulation. It's really good for the inner working stuff. So we think about yoga, like I mentioned before, we think about yoga and we think about the poses, but the reality is that yoga is like a moving meditation. So if you're a little inquieta like me, that I'm always bouncing off the walls, it's a way for you to like tune in and tune down what's happening internally, so that you can see things a little clearer, so that you can focus a little bit better and get a little more grounded.
Okay. And just to wrap up, one last time, your website?
The website for the yoga studio is www.ofrendayoga.com.
.com. And you can find Jazmin there with all her offerings of different classes, from hot yoga to
non-heated yoga.
Non-heated
no
yoga.
experience necessary, and you don't have to be flexible, just come through.
all beginners welcome.
Yes.
So again, that website was www.ofrendayoga.com. You may also visit her on her Instagram, Ofrenda Yoga Studio, and at Jazmin Tejada _yoga.